Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful new year, this wonderful day. We ask you to protect our city, our community, and guide us with your wisdom. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do I have to do anything to open, or just are we open? All right, we're opening the public hearing for citizens to submit comments with respect to potential increases in charges and fees for city water, sewer, and trash services provided by the city of Edina. I will start with just a brief. We are going to have to raise rates. We do not know exactly how much yet. We're still working on running different options to figure out how to have the lowest raise possible while still making sure that the services we provide pay for themselves. And that's where we are. So our treasurer has been working hours and hours and hours on different scenarios to try to figure out how to make it work best for everyone involved, for the city and the citizens. So.
And there's no range of how much it could go up, anything like that? Any kind of a timeline on when we'll have more information about that?
Hopefully we'll have some preliminary numbers by the February meeting. Right, Margaret? Isn't that our goal still?
Okay. The second public hearing will be
right
at the February meeting.
Which is
February
a week from Monday, next Monday. Yeah, 2 weeks from tonight. So that's where we stand.
February 6th.
Yeah, February 13th.
Oh, that's different than the 6th.
Yeah, next Monday is the 6th. That'll be 2 weeks.
And of course, the last time the water rates were raised was March of 2012.
Yes, it has been 11 years since we've raised rates. So we were looking at it right around COVID, when COVID hit, but then with all that uncertainty, we didn't want to add on more stress, but we cannot hold off any longer to.
Margaret, that would have been about the time we were getting the bond for this.
Well, no, that was when water was raised. Sewer was raised January 1 of 2020, and that was to keep in line with bond payments for sewer, because that's what our bonds are on, sewer. And at that same time, trash actually went down, so that kind of softened the blow of the total utility bill. But yes, water has not changed since 2012.
Is there going to be any more public hearings about it?
Just on the 13th.
Yeah, at 6:30 before the regular meeting in February 13th.
Okay.
There'll be another public hearing.
And we'll have a better idea of what we're looking at. Okay.
Yep.
And of course, part of the reason for having these public hearings is so they can increase. Isn't it required that you guys have 2 public hearings before any type of increase?
Yes.
So how soon could we see the increase go into effect? Are we talking early, like March early?
Yes, it can go into effect.
Would be like after the
February.
March, yeah, so it'd be the March billing
It
cycle.
could be on the March billing if it's effective immediately. That's yet to be determined, but it could.
That would be the earliest.
Really?
Anybody commenting on the light?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't see any, there's nobody's asking questions on
But maybe, you know,
Yeah.
it might.
the.
Doesn't leave a lot of room for questions when
And is
we
this,
don't know much and we don't have a choice.
we're still kind of pulling, is there any of the Clarence Canyon water increases gonna be on this increase, or is that another increase to look forward to later in the year?
We are trying to safeguard against having, that's part of why we're taking so much time to look at different scenarios, because we're trying to figure out how to divide the funding, and figure out to buffer against that. It's a little hard because we don't have a great idea yet of what exactly they're going to do, but since they have told us they will be raising rates, we're hoping that we can catch it, and so that we don't have to raise it twice.
Right, they've told us that our rates are going up, and I think maybe in September.
Do you remember September?
It was like later,
October.
somewhere in that later in the year zone. Are we represented at the Clarence Canyon meetings? Do you guys ever get down to those?
Rick.
Yeah, Rick is, and then, we need to appoint
We need
a
to,
second,
yes.
and,
At
Yeah.
the February meeting, you'll
Right.
be appointing an alternate.
cause Joe previously was the alternate, so. We're working on that.
One of the interesting things about the Clarence Canyon Wholesale Water Commission, it's a mouthful, is a lot of the board doesn't show up for their meetings. They have a very hard time getting people to go to the meetings. It's not very close. It's quite a trip to get there and back. But it's interesting because the members, which we're part of, that do go to the meetings, because of that low attendance, have a little bit of an extra say, have a vote.
That's a good point.
One of the things about being a membership at any kind of board, but this public board, their Sunshine Law, open to the public board, is when nobody shows up and they're just barely hitting a quorum, a little town like Edina could have a big say in the grand scheme of things. And we did for quarter of a century when Davey was our representative, because he was wildly excited isn't the right word, but he was Davey doing his with the Davey-esque, and I don't know that he missed much of any of those.
Evenings then too, like I know that makes it nearly impossible
Yes.
for Rick to ever make a meeting now that they're in the work day.
10 o'clock in the morning.
It's hard, yeah.
Know if
It'd be nice if they do a hybrid where they could do like an in-person and online, because
that would be something, yeah.
and I've talked to their general manager, and they did actually try some Zoom, but they weren't getting any better luck with attendance, so it sounded like they didn't, that kind of mission kind of died with it, but it would be interesting if there was enough interest. It might be worthwhile to talk to him about maybe bringing it back just to make it easier for our guys to get down there. And they've added some new members in our parts.
Yeah.
Or, they've been trying to. So.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, because when they decide on the water rate increase and how that's going to go down, it's the memberships it's their members that will decide it. It won't come down from some corporate office at Clarence Canyon. It will be the actual
Well, they're so
board.
big that it's not really going to be Edina is going to have any say so about it.
Well, we have a vote just like everybody else.
One, yeah.
But one could be a bigger ratio if lots of other people aren't there to vote. It could be our one vote could be a bigger percentage.
At least they know we exist. I mean, if I don't think the water district attends.
I think about the biggest meeting they ever had was the fluoride meeting. And it's probably the most attendance they've had in
Yeah.
a long while.
Definitely the most build up to anything that I can remember, but that's not many years. But
It's like we're holding it for watchers.
all right, hi everybody.
Is that what you have? I have 4.
I've got 5.
Oh.
Because you're one of
Because
them.
you're one of them.
I'm
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's all get on.
I was just drive our numbers up.
We've had it's a busy news day. We were getting a lot of traffic on Nemo. And I'm sure the peak of it's that water rescue interview and photos.
Nine more minutes.
So that's how public hearing works. You got to spend 20 minutes talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't have to spend 20
Well-
minutes talking about it. We just have to have it open for 20 minutes.
For the
Yes.
public to come in.
Yeah.
You got any data over there, Margaret? You want to impart on?
Well, one thing I know of interest has nothing to do with raising rates really, but when people buy additional trash stickers, they're $2 a piece. And quite often, someone will say, "What? I thought they were $1." And I said, "Well, they used to be $1." And they said, "Well, when did they change? And when did they go up to $2?" Well, that was in October of '07.
I was gonna say I think
Yeah, they used to be.
these must be
$1.
long-time residents because I don't remember them ever being $1.
Yeah, well,
Things used to be $2 too.
yeah,
I've never had to buy them.
yeah. But some people do need additional
Oh, yeah.
stickers.
I'm more likely to give them to my neighbor.
Yeah, and that's
Who has
not
a lot
really
of trash.
kosher, but
Do what?
You're not supposed
that's
to do
not
that,
really
no.
kosher, but.
Well, I don't give her all of them. I just, I thought I was doing my duty to get the trash out of the
Yeah.
road. She buys them too, but I guess I'm more the emergency person.
Yeah.
Get the trash this trash day and
So, yeah, I'm not sure what we can add to the fact of sewer, of course, definitely will have to go up because we're paying off bonds and you have to charge enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We don't have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, you have to show USDA that you're charging the proper amount to pay off those bonds. Water has not gone up since 2012, so obviously the expenses have increased. The cost, as we all know, for
my normal call.
everything has gone up. The trash, driving to the landfill, obviously
Fuel
costs
hit
a lot
us.
more than it
Yeah.
used to. Cost of fuel,
Yeah, everything's going up.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta stay up with it.
How's the trash truck doing? When's it due for?
We've got 4 more years. We just
Yeah,
replaced
it's
it.
just been a year
at the
since we
beginning
had
of
last
last year.
time's COVID. We went in and got it.
right, we don't need a new
Yeah.
truck.
So
We gotta have money to buy one.
So at least
Right.
there's that.
Yeah.
We're a long ways from there.
And then what
Right.
about the water tower maintenance? Is any of that going to be built in to this new billing?
we are still piling up money, but the cost keeps going up as soon,
Yeah.
faster than we're,
Yeah, if we done it when it was
Piling.
100,000, we'd be okay.
Right.
But when it goes up to 300,000,
You know, they
It's-
save money and they keep moving the
yep.
price keeps going up.
finish
Yeah.
line.
We're just trying
Exactly.
to catch it.
Moving the finish line.
Yeah, they do.
Cost of paint went up so much. And I think last year we were unable to put back as much as usual
Mhm.
since we were
Because the cost of running the plant
yeah,
went
we were
up.
running
so,
a little short.
yeah. It's been-
Be nice if rural development or some of those infrastructure grants would shake loose for us.
Yeah, we're keeping our eyes out. Chris and Derek are, and for anything that might come up that would help with the water tower thing, because if we could find something that It was just a weird one that didn't count for ARPA funding, and it didn't, like, it just is a weird,
Right.
it's hard to find grants that qualifies for, which seems surprising, but a lot of them are more specifically for, like, it couldn't be maintenance, it had to be a problem that existed, and, there were, I'm butchering it, but the MML guy that we asked about said, sorry. Although, if we can get our stormwater problem fixed with that and see where we stand,
obviously.
that's a big one that's been hanging, so.
The bids will be open February the 8th, 9th.
Yeah, I seen that 8th or 9th or something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, right,
Before
Yes,
before the meeting, right,
Yeah.
I mean, a few
Yeah.
days before the meeting for that project, which is our ARPA project.
and then hopefully it won't be all of our ARPA project, but
Exactly.
it's kept us frozen
Hopefully there'll
before
be
we know
something
what the bids are.
left.
It's been a long wait. I'm excited to know.
In other news, did you guys see the strategic plan for Knox County yet?
Yes. Is there
Are
momentum?
you-
Like, will the group be able to, are they figuring out a way, like a vehicle to move it forward with?
I've been waiting to hear about if there's going to be a meeting or anything like that. I haven't really sprung into action just yet. I'm kind of waiting for the group to get their ducks together and see what they want to do. But the plans are out. The plans have been released. There's been, I believe there were 6 plans. It was Kirksville, Edina, Lancaster, Memphis, Canton, and LaGrange.
Cool. Were any of those countywide like ours was, or were they town specific? Do you know?
Both. You know, both.
Cool. Good.
I believe it's both.
I'll have to look at the.
I'll have to look at them again and see. But ours is countywide, and it's interesting. I'm excited to see.
Yeah. I really liked how he worked in the big picture.
Very smart guy, Derek Lumsden. Polished Productions, and he's actually a native of Northeast Missouri.
Really?
Did you? Yeah, he grew up in Kirksville.
Oh, cool.
I believe he did some college in Truman, but he's educated to the hilt. He's actually Dr. Lumsden, and specializes in strategic planning. And
Wow.
I've seen him a couple of times before he came and did like this round of strategic plans, and I was really excited to see what he was going to come up with because.
I appreciated how comprehensive it was, and didn't ignore the disadvantage or the difficulties. You know, where a lot of the things are just like, oh, you just do that. Like here you are at point A, and then they give you point M and nothing in between. Like, yeah, but there's a few.
Right, there's some rungs in the ladder missing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is where we want to be, but how do we get there?
Right, yeah. We agree. That's a great idea. All right, anybody watching? Last time to ask a question. 1 minute.
I see no comment on this. My phone just went to 20. Did yours?
Yep, it's
Is
20.
it? All right.
Yes.
Well, we are closing the public hearing. All right, we have a couple things real quick before we move to closed session for the interviews. The furnace upgrade that we budgeted at the city maintenance shed, we need to, vote on
Let's see,
approving it to go ahead and,
we didn't budget it.
oh, we didn't? I thought we did.
I didn't remember
check.
nothing about it.
I don't
Okay,
know what
The
we have.
treasurer just commented that we should make the budget.
okay, so if we need to amend the budget, then the treasurer would know, don't trust my memory.
I'll go make sure that we don't
Alright.
already have it budgeted.
So, assuming we did not, we'll need to, a motion to amend the budget to include the furnace upgrade to get it to vent out. And then we'll need a motion to approve then to go
Okay.
ahead and call someone in.
You're correct that it is budgeted, it was that sewer plant thing.
Right, that's
not
on
budgeted.
February.
Okay,
Okay, so no
so-
amendment, just a
Yeah,
go-ahead vote to let them go ahead and fix the furnace.
I'll make the motion.
Delmer
Who seconded it?
Rick?
and David,
No, Rick.
Rick, okay.
Elmer and Rick.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to, proceed with the furnace, work needed at the city shed. Any questions? This
You
one
know
just,
what it's gonna cost, anything?
they had gotten an estimate that is what we budgeted.
But I don't know.
I don't remember what it was, and we don't know if it'll still
What's
be.
the sample?
Yeah, but right now it needs to be rerouted out so that, exhaust from it is not coming into the shed. So that's what, it's turning the ceiling black, which we'd rather not be doing to the lungs either, so it's a safety thing and among others. Questions? All right, all in favor say aye. Man, I can't get in the swing of it. And then I just have a couple announcements, FYI. I asked Roger to start doing quarterly employee evaluations, because the annual ones don't give us a metric to judge on, but if we can do quarterly, we'll be able to see, how people are doing, how they're improving or not, and be able to, offer help where it's needed a little better. And that's how he did them quarterly when he was at MoDOT, so that was what he was comfortable with anyway. So the other thing is, I think I've talked to most of you about, we're gonna set up committees to have 2 board members over different areas, for the city operations, so that way anyone, like employees in those areas have board members they can come to. You guys can meet as a committee with the people working in that area to see what upcoming things they have or budget items that they'd like us to keep on the radar, and then just brainstorm for things that we can be doing better, ways we can save money or adjust to provide better services. So this is completely an experiment just to try to get more communication and get us on the same page more. And with that being said, just keep giving me feedback. Only the 2 committee members are the ones that can go like meet together for the committees, but if you want me there, I can be at any of them. So for starters, over the street and sanitation funds, I have Delmer and David.
Street and sewer.
Sanitation, street and sanitation. And, and this is, Margaret and Peggy and I worked on the idea to try to figure out, looking at different ways we could communicate better, and then Roger and I went over it the next day to kind of see, and so get with him to see who he's going to try to appoint somebody in his crew to be the one in charge of like the point person, to try to give some of the younger guys more leadership ability and more involvement. So he was going to be thinking about that, how to do that. So I'm not sure at this point. So street and sanitation, and then water and sewer, Rick, and then Mark, and then Stacy and Dot on everything else. Police, fire, city hall, parks. So Rick, if you'll have a chance to talk to Mark and kind of fill him in, Dot, if you can kind of fill Stacy in, I'll try to do the same. But the first step, if you guys want to get together and get with whoever is in charge of the different things that you're over, and just do a field trip committee meeting to just go have them show you where their concerns are, what they do in a day, just to get a better understanding that then obviously, like with water and sewer, Rick could already tell us this, but the goal is to be building all of our knowledge in all of the day-to-day operations of the department so that we can talk better about what's going on, and then you two can the two committee members can bring anything to the board at the next meeting and bring up things that need to be discussed. All right, that's all I have. Any questions on any of that?
No.
Okay. It's all an experiment, so we can adjust, keep communicating with me, and
So I will get with Roger and David on the street and sanitation.
Yep. Yep. All right. We'll go to closed session then. Is there
Somebody wants to
anything
make a
else?
motion.
Nothing else.
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
close session.
David?
Second.
All right.
Rick?
It's been moved and seconded to move to closed session for pursuant to 610.0213, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. David. Does it have to be a roll call?
Roll call, yeah.
Okay.
Aye.
Rick?
Yep.
Dot?
Yes.
Yes.
Delmer? All right, we are closed. Thanks, Echo.
Thanks.